The third conic section we're doing is an ellipse. So once again, this is going to be heavy on vocabulary, not really heavy on math at all. So the vertices on an ellipse are going to be the endpoints of the major axis. And we're going to have two different shapes. So in this case, this is my major axis. It looks like a football laying down. So this is larger than this one, which is the minor axis. So a vertex is here and here. The endpoints are just the generic terms. The minor axis, this is an endpoint, this is an endpoint, this is an endpoint, this is an endpoint. So just like in parabolas, we have focus points here. In an ellipse, they're always going to be along the major axis. So there will be a focus point here, and there will be a focus point here. And I'll show you how to do that. And where you need to get that distance, you're going to use the formula c squared equals a squared minus b squared. And there's also what is called an eccentricity, which talks about how oval an ellipse is. An ellipse that is a circle would have an eccentricity of 0. So I think the easiest way to go through this is just to kind of graph one and show you where everything comes from. And here's all the formulas. Once again, I don't teach with the formulas. You're welcome to use them. I will give them to you. I want to teach more using common sense. So this first one, I have x minus 1 squared over 25 plus y plus 3 squared over 16 equals 1. The reason I know that this is a horizontal major axis is because this value, 25, is greater than 16. That means I have to move further to the right and left than I go up and down. So let me go ahead and draw my coordinate plane. First want to get my center. My center is the point 1, negative 3. And mark that. Then I'm going to use these values of a and b. This distance, this is a squared, is 25. So that means a is equal to 5. So that means I want to go to the left 5, and I want to go to the right 5. There's my major axis. And that's 10 units. My vertices are these points that I have here and here. I could use the formulas, but I'm just going to look at my graph and get the points. My vertices are the points negative 4, negative 3, and 6, negative 3. To get my focus points, and plural for focus is foci, I've heard it pronounced foci, they're going to be along this major axis, but it's going to be a distance c away from this center. So c squared is equal to a squared minus b squared. C squared is going to be 25 minus 16, which is equal to 9. The square root of 9 is 3. So that means I have to go 3 in this direction, right here, and 3 in this direction, right here. To finish off the ellipse, I need the minor axis. The minor axis goes up and down. So this is b squared. So b is going to be the square root of 16, which is 4. So I'm going to go from the center up 4 and down 4. I'm going to connect all my endpoints as best as I can. And there's my ellipse. So my major axis was 10. Going up and down here is my minor axis. My minor axis is 8. Now I'll do an ellipse that has a vertical major axis. And I just snipped these pictures from the book. Not real happy that I just turned this one aside. I just want to give you another visual of it. Now your major axis is going to be going up and down. Your minor axis is going side to side. So you'll notice the only difference in the equation is I've switched what A and B are. A has to be larger than B. So the example I'm going to use here is x squared over 4 plus y minus 2 squared over 9 equals 1. First going to get my center. I'm going to have the point 0, 2. Then I'm going to get my vertices. So since I've gone up, I'm going to go up 3. There's one of the vertex. I'm going to go down 3. There's my other vertex. So the vertices are going to be 0.05 and 0, -1. And I just realized something I'd forgotten on the last example. I'll go back to that in a minute. My focus points, c squared is equal to 9 minus 4. So c is going to equal the square root of 5. So that means from here, I've got to go up the square root of 5. The square root of 5 is just a little bit over 2, about there. Down the square root of 5, so down just a little bit over 2 is there. And those points, I'm going to go 2 minus the square root of 5 to get here. So it's a 0.0, 2 minus the square root of 5, and 0, 2 plus the square root of 5. I need to get my minor axis. My minor axis is going in this direction. So underneath the x is a 4, so the square root of 4 is 2. So I have to go 2 to the right, 2 to the left, and I'm going to connect all my endpoints. So my minor axis is 4. My major axis is 6. Now let me go back to my other example, what I forgot to do. I drew the focus points on here. There's a focus point there, and there's a focus point there. I didn't tell you what they were. Well, I know I had to move 3 away from the center. So if my center's at 1 and I move left 3, it's going to be -2, -3. That's this point right here. If I start at 1 and I move to the right 3, I'm going to have 4, -3. So that's the part I forgot here.